So one thought I had here, and maybe this is worthwhile that we explain the context to the listeners. There are two ways when you are a consultant. There are two ways how you can scale a business. One is you build an agency, meaning you hire other people, you train them on your method, and they then execute on your behalf for the client. That's one way. And you can roughly, in terms of the business model, you can always assume that for every 100,000 that you're adding to your revenue, you're adding one new person. So this means if you want to have a $1 million business, let's say, you'll probably end up with having somewhere between 8 and 10 employees, roughly. And so that is the standard agency model. The other way is that you, instead of hiring other people to do the work for the client, you actually turn into a model where the client does the work for themselves. And this is actually my model that I pursue. I have a course in a group coaching program where I teach people how to get clients on LinkedIn. I was actually in a place in 2019 where I was thinking, should I build an agency? And instead, I opted for growing the course and group coaching side because I prefer to scale without needing too many team members, too many employees. So just to give that context, it is quite a different model. It requires a different setup. And ideally, you should not pursue both at the same time. Now, Gabriel is asking whether he should go all in on that. And so my main question is, and you correctly pointed that out, Max, that if you can afford it, then you definitely should only go for only for one thing, namely for the course and group coaching program. However, and this is important to emphasize, if the overlap of those two audiences, one is the client who needs the done for you service, and the other one is the client who needs the course and group coaching program. If that overlap is sufficiently large, then you can simply just advertise it generally, advertise the service, and then on the call with the prospect, you just inquire, and depending on your cash needs, if you just need to get some cash through the door, if you feel that they would be a done for you client, and you could really use the money at this point, which is the case of many consultants when they are transitioning, then you can still offer them the done for you service. And for that, it's quite useful if you keep the messaging a little bit ambiguous. You just describe what result you help the client to achieve, and then the how you do it, you just leave it for the sales call. Okay? So that is the situation. It's a little bit more complex than only saying if you can afford it. But I think it's important to emphasize this. If you can really afford it and you can say, okay, it's an innovative product. I don't really know where I'm going to take this course and group coaching program. Maybe I'll have to pivot. Maybe I'll have to tweak it. Well, if you have, let's say, a year run rate and you're perfectly fine with experimenting around it, and you find if you get one client in 3 months and another client in 5 months, then definitely you should do that, and you should forego those done for you clients because they take up a lot of your time. So if you can afford it, indeed, go for the course and group coaching program only.